Hi, I'm John Gardner, president of JSG Insurance Services. One of the questions I'm asked is, what is liability insurance? Well, first of all, let me explain what liability is. Liability is when you can be held responsible for actions you take. So let me give you a couple of examples that you might be familiar with. The first is auto insurance. You have liability for auto insurance. One example is when you have an auto accident and somebody is injured, you're liable or you're responsible to pay for their injuries. The same is true on your homeowner insurance or your renter or condo insurance. You might be responsible for someone being injured. Consider the example perhaps of your dog biting somebody. This is an opportunity where you might be sued, and as a result you could be held liable and your insurance is there to protect you. So that's a typical situation for liability insurance. There are also situations where liability may be important even though you didn't do anything wrong. Let me give you an example of something that happened in my agency recently. We had a client who had hired some window cleaners to do their upstairs windows. Unfortunately, the person who was doing the windows was leaning outside from inside, cleaning the windows, and fell off the roof and was injured. That particular person sued my client for saying that he had to be outside doing the windows instead of using a ladder like he was supposed to. Here's a situation where, of course, it appears my client isn't responsible, but is still being sued, and as a result, needs to have a defense. Part of your liability coverage provides you defense in these kinds of situations. So again, even if you're not liable, it's important to have liability coverage to defend you in these kinds of situations. So how do you know how much liability you need? Well, first of all, you need to consider what can go wrong. So think about it, a major accident where someone is seriously injured when you're in your auto. That's something that obviously could cost a lot of money, and having proper insurance would certainly be beneficial at that point. Or something on your home. Maybe you have a pool or a swing set and you have a child where your child's friend comes over and is injured. Those are sorts of things that become very expensive if something should happen. Again, your liability insurance is there to protect you and make sure that if something does happen, you are properly protected. The other part you need to consider is, what do you have to lose? You know, someone who has more assets has more to lose than someone with less assets. The fact is, in California, people can come after your assets, whether that's income, future income, because in California they can come after future income. It could be your home equity. It could be money you've saved for your retirement. All of these things are exposed if you have a loss and you don't have enough insurance. So the real question is, how do you determine how much insurance should you have? In order to make sure you have the right coverage, we'd like to offer you a free report. Simply click on the link below. You'll be taken to a short questionnaire with only 5 questions. Complete that questionnaire and we will send you a free report to help you determine if you have the proper amount of coverage.